let's react to Everything's Gonna Be All Right. I have zero context and know nothing about what this is supposed to be. So let us just watch the documentary together, and I will try to give a genuine ad hoc reaction to it. Apparently, I'm about to be triggered, but we'll see. I'm pretty, I practice stoicism. I'm pretty good at containing my emotions, so I think I'm gonna be okay. Let's see.
I think what annoys me
I'll be
most
okay.
about white people is when they pretend like they're the victim. What's also annoying is when they kill us.
What is fragile about whiteness when everything has been constructed around it?
Every part of who I am has been distorted or criminalized.
It's really just a bunch of white lies.
We're storming the Capitol!
You're not patriots. You're ridiculous.
One of the definitions of American whiteness is ignorance.
White people.
Who made that
we are not
definition?
your problem. You are.
Should white people today feel any responsibility for slavery?
Hell yeah.
White Jesus or black Jesus?
Jesus was not white. Think of geography.
I mean,
Ain't
yeah,
no way
that's true.
Jesus walked around with blonde hair and blue eyes.
No.
White culture fears the end of the world. For us as Native people, the end of the world already happened like multiple times.
Symbols and monuments, these are mementos of racism.
Bring that statue down. Put up a TCU BY yogurt or something. Everybody can get behind.
The truth has to be told about history.
I'm fine with that.
We have to make sure that these stories are told from our perspective.
There's always hope. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up.
It's about obliterating systemic and institutionalized racism.
This is a wild place, y'all. It's a wild place. I know Harriet and Frederick be up there just like, what is they gonna do?
Well, that was less incendiary and awful than I initially thought it would be. It's like, yes and no. And I feel like I am someone who has decided not to see the world as black and white, right or left. So I'm neither liberal nor conservative. I've sort of in the past year just realized that, wait, this is all some sort of weird political identity game, and everybody's playing it, and everybody's playing it wrong, and we're just hurting each other over and over again. So I decided to disassociate from all of that and take a step back and just be like, okay. And so there are some phrases in there that I can happily agree with. Like, yes, tell true history as much as possible. Tell all of it. And I think, and tell it from other people's perspective. And so I'm fine with that. I'll rant on this a bit more later on, but there's the whole truth. I believe in objective truth, but I don't believe that any one human being can fully see all of it all of the time. Our perspectives, our biases, our experiences, our cultural backgrounds, and basically our perspective is always going to be filtered with different lenses. So we can see a lot of the truth, but there's always going to be gray areas. There's always going to be spots where we are always going to have blind spots, and that's what we need other people for. That's why we need to hear other people's experiences and create a dialectic, which, of course, in order for that to happen, you need free speech, obviously. And so I'm a huge fan of the dialectic. But the problem that seems to be coming here is that it's still a lot of the things that they're saying seems to still be based on the fundamental idea that we should be dividing ourselves up according to ethnicity. I'm not going to pretend to be super educated on that yet, so I need to do a ton of more research and figure out where exactly I stand on that. Is race a social construct, and should we be trying to find a solution to all of our racial problems based on that construct? Like, should we not tear down that construct first and just walk forward and treat everybody as the same? And again, that's just my uneducated thoughts on that topic. I have to go read a bunch of books, and I'll get back to you on that. So yeah, there's always mislabeling and representing people. I really dislike how people can take really good ideas, but then anyone who has a question about that idea is automatically labeled as a white supremacist or a racist. You know, just because somebody has concerns about how you're trying to make the world a better place, like, is your methodology actually going to work? That doesn't mean they're a hateful, racist, bigoted person. So I do take issue with the idea of painting everybody with a broad strokes. Like, oh, you disagree with my opinion on this? Psh, racist. Or it's like, what? You and same thing on the conservative side. What? You think people leftist? Like, it's such a ridiculous thing that we do, and that's one of the reasons why I actually decided to stop being a conservative and identifying as part of that, as particular side of that political game, because I started realizing that the behaviors that were leading to more division were being done on both sides, and everybody thinks they're right, and everybody cobbles together a bunch of ad hoc statistics that support their personal point of view, and then they label everybody that doesn't believe in their personal point of view as either a snowflake leftist or a white supremacist or a racist or what have you. And so I feel like it's all like just a big silly game in some sense. It's not a game, obviously. It is like very serious stuff that we're working with. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. It's not as incendiary as I thought it would be. I do have some issues with the way people present their message. I have zero problem with telling history the way it was and seeing where people fall through the cracks and fixing it, because at the end of the day, my fundamental base that I derive all of my ideas from is that every single human being has value and deserves to be treated with dignity. And if our systems are not treating every single human being as if they are intrinsically valuable and have dignity, then of course I'm down to fix that. Whether or not your methodology of fixing it, well, that's, to be questioned and asked and analyzed and verified. But we can only do that if, we are. Well, that's annoying. The screensaver just went. Hopefully this is still recording, because I would just be like absolutely livid if it wasn't. I think we're fine. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say, and I want to respect your time. So goodbye. Like and subscribe for more. I'm really, really going to work hard to make this an inclusive community where we can establish a strong dialectic and actually come up with real solutions that can actually empower every single human being. And naturally, I don't like the idea of just being lumped in with all of the negative sides of white people that white people have done, because I feel like there's a lot of diversity in the Caucasian race, because a lot of us come from different countries and we're not all the same. Just like black people are not all the same. White people are not all the same either. And so I feel like it's not helpful to just be labeling everybody in these sort of generic terms. But yeah, that's a methodology issue. I think the intentions mostly are good, I think. I don't know what's in their hearts. So anyways, like and subscribe so we can have more fun talking about this stuff, and I will see you guys later.